to do with it, because I mean he won a race last time out, which is absolutely fantastic. This time starting from 15th, so work to do for him as we are about to head off the warm-up lap of this 8-lap race. And I tell you what, this is going to be absolutely nail-biting. It's going to be thrilling. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be hard to pick a winner as we look at the starting grid for race 1 here in Suzuka. Of course, it is Rafa Topan, the 911, who starts from pole. Andy Mohamed Fadli second. Irfan Adensaya in third. Fourth is Mohamed Farouzi Karila. In fifth is Nazrul is at 6. Muklada Sarapuch, of course, she is one to watch. Definitely one of the faster riders out there. Lucky Henry Sire in 7th. 8th is Awan Sanjaya, to move from his teammates. Reynaldo Ratakuri, we talked about him, hasn't had a podium, needs one this year. Muzuka Mohamed in 7th. 13th is the Edomitsu Rajiv Setu Yuta Yasaki from Japan, of course one of the wild cards. Tachi Cord down in 15th position. 16th is Mohamed Azul Anji Setiwan in 17th. 18th, another wild card there as well. And the wild cards come thick and thin through 19th and 20th. Otu Tanimoto and Tomita in 19th and 20th. 21st is Sutipat Pachigron and Cheryl Yuzi in 22nd. 23rd is Sawapol Nilapong. 25th, of course, another couple of wild cards in 25th and 6th with Goto and Nakahara in 26th and 27th. Of course, is Stuart Johnson, Lu Junmi in 28th, and Hazik Zamari in 29th, and Aiki Ayoshi, who has been allowed to start in 30th position. Now that, to me, is the big news of this race. He has got a lot of work to do. We know that he's capable of winning his first year in the championship. He's had 2 podiums already. The question is can he make his way through the field in 8 laps from 30th to a podium position? He sits in the championship in 3rd position. A lot of work to be done. It's not going to be easy, especially when his teammate Mohamed Fadli has showed so much speed and starts from the front row of the grid.
Yeah, I honestly think that Ayoshi is going to be struggling to get close to the front, because he's got so much work to do. By which time the very quick guys at the front, say the guys from the first 2 rows, will be a little too far ahead.
The positives he's got is if there is a track that he's done a lot of laps around, it has to be this one.
Yeah, absolutely. He's strong-minded. He's quite a disciplined rider, so hopefully he'll stay out of trouble as he makes his way through. The other rider to watch out for that should be coming through from an unusually lowly starting position is Tachi Cord for AP Racing Time.
Yeah, absolutely. He starts in 15th position. But the story of this race is, of course, Andy Mohamed Fadli and Muklada Sarapuch. They're tied on points. They've both got 86 points. Who can break the stalemate? It's going to happen in this race. Muklada hopes it's her, but Andy Fadli, we heard him say, wants to make this one count. He wants to make a decisive break in the championship. But hey, do you reckon guys like Rafa Topan Superto are going to care about that? I don't think so.
Absolutely not. Well, they'll care about it to the extent that it motivates them to beat him.
Absolutely. Rafa Topan is only thinking about one thing, and that is victory. And he has showed the speed, riding the Honda for the first time, and the pace to do that.
And as the last bikes line up, Steve, just a reminder that the rev limiter, the rev limits have been applied, 500 RPM to Fadli, Muklada and Aiki Ayoshi.
As the red flag leaves the field, we are in the starters' hands now. Keep an eye on those lights at the top of your screen. When they go out, the race will be underway, and they are off. And oh, that was a bad start there, but it is Rafa Topan who gets a good start, along with Andy Fadli as well. Good for him. Irfan Adensaya has dropped back a little bit.
Yeah, look at the power of that Kawasaki, Andy Fadli's Kawasaki. Despite the 500 rev limit cut, he managed to out-drag the Honda of Topan into turn 1.
If there was ever a track where you didn't need a lot of horsepower, it is this one, especially through the first half of the circuit. You can just see the bikes are always on the side of the tyre, so you need a bike that handles and has good grip. They're the main things that you need, especially for the first 2/3 of this Suzuka circuit. But it is of course, Andy Mohammed Fadley, who leads the way at the moment, and he's got a pretty decisive break already. There's McLeod, one of the AP Thailand Hondas up there, and both of them are up there, in fact.
Yeah, so let's just take a look now.
As they head down the hill, it's a big group of riders, 34 riders entered this weekend, the biggest field of the bunch, with a lot of wild cards, as we saw, as they head under brakes there. And it's Rafid Topan who's holding off second position at the moment, with Irfan Arinsaya in third position.
Yeah. Fadley's got a bit of a lead there. Let's see what happens when they get onto the back straight, the kind of scale extric overpass.
No, I mean, Fadley is absolutely, he's nailing this first lap. He's doing everything right. Let's just hope for his sake that he's not pushing too hard, but he's got quite a break, and it looks like it is Irfan Arinsaya who's moved in front of Rafid Topan. Let's have another look at the restart there. That looks like the Irfan Arinsaya didn't have the best of starts there, just with the front wheel launching skywards. A lot of work to do for him, but he has made his way forward. Just another look there, you can just see him bobbling off the start line, lost a lot of places, so bit of work to be done for him. No sign of Akiyoshi there, or that could be him just
him moving up just from the back, making up 5 places or so.
Yep, off the start line. Well, that's always pretty handy, but I'll tell you what's handy. Look at the lead that this guy's got after one lap. That's going on to about over a second, I reckon.
Yeah, and Topan's a little way clear just behind him.
Yeah, absolutely. Where is Rafid Topan? Rafid Topan has gone back through the pack.
So Lucky has come up from, I think, P12 on the grid.
Yeah, Lucky Hendricks, he got a good start, and it's what he needed to do. What about Tachikorn? He's still back down, so perhaps he is carrying an injury from that big crash he had yesterday.
Yeah, but looks like Topan has slipped down into about 8th position. Yeah,
Topan is, there he is there. So obviously got slipstreamed by a few bikes at one point. But Muklada now finds her way up in the podium, getting positions.
Yeah, she looked strong all the way through, free practice yesterday, and qualifying today she was good.
But you want to know how good that first lap was for Andy Fadley. He got 2 seconds on the field in the first flying lap. That is an incredible first lap by Andy Fadley. I haven't seen anything like that in this class ever before.
No, absolutely. That was quite amazing. And we've got Topan now. Where is he? He's in 8th.
Ray Ratakuri's up there too. Yeah, look at that gap now. He's not even in the same screen as everybody else. Of course, Lucky Hendricks sits up there, but Andy Fadley exactly where he wants to be. It's going to be hard to pull him back from here already.
Yeah, we haven't seen much of Lucky in terms of being at the front since the opening round, really, at Sepang. But now he's making his mark. He had a pretty poor qualifying performance.
A little bit wide there, but he has time to look over his shoulder, and he gets a look at the AP Honda Racing Thailand machine of Muklada Sarapuk. So he knows now that he's going to have a fight on his hands, and of course that team, the AP Thailand team, moving to Olan's this year, and you've got to say that it seems to have made a big difference to their performance on track.
Yeah, it certainly does.
Up the inside goes Muklada.
Ooh. Yeah.
And she pulls it off.
She
nice
didn't
move.
leave anything behind with that, did she?
No, that was a last lap manoeuvre, but she's doing it on basically the first lap. So Muklada doesn't want to let Andy Fadley get away. Remember, Muklada equal in the championship, and now she moves up into second position. So 25 points for first, 20 for second, which means that Fadley will have a 5-point lead if it was to finish this way.
Yeah, Lucky just pulled ahead of her as they went down the straight there. So yeah, Lucky's back in front of her. Irfan just behind that. As the Kawasaki boys look on. Yeah,
they're looking pretty pensive in there at the moment. They're just wondering, is Andy Mohammed Fadley pushing that little bit too hard? But doesn't seem to be. So Fadley well out front. Meanwhile, Rafford Topan is falling back down the pack. He's back down into 7th position now.
Yeah, he's 7th. Something went wrong on that first lap. He was looking like he was going to clear off in 2nd at one point, but now he's back in the, you could call it the 2nd group, I guess, because Fadley's in a group of 1 on his own at the front.
Well, McLarta's got herself in an Astra Honda sandwich at the moment on her AP Thailand racing machine. Not where she wants to be. She tries to dive up the inside. Can't do it at the hairpin.
Yeah, Lucky will be feeling her presence, no doubt. Irfan tries to do something about it.
Great move there by Irfan.
Yeah, he got out of that hairpin really well, didn't he?
He did. Well, McLarta got balked a little bit. Irfan got on the gas, tucked himself in. We heard him say on the grid that his confidence is growing. And boy, with a move like that, but McLarta, we know how aggressive she can be. And up the inside she goes as easy as you like. She runs wide though. Irfan decides to not to strike back.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting battle here. We haven't seen race leader Fadley for a while.
No, Fadley is way up the road at the moment. He's just, his fastest lap, 2:28.8, is 0.5.6. He's 3 seconds in front of the field. He is demolishing them here in Suzuka at the moment. Ray Radicori's up there too. Good to see him on his machine. The number 222 machine, of course, 1XOXT double KR SAG racing team. Put a lot of effort into their racing in all classes in this Asia Racing Championship.
Yeah, they should have. They got huge garage spaces. Was it triple or maybe quadruple garage?
Well, yeah, I can't even count how many entries they've got. I think it's something like 16 across all classes, so good to see. But meanwhile, that lead looks pretty comfortable out front, but you wouldn't want to be dicing in the pack behind them. 3.5 seconds now from the first position, Andy Mohammed Fadley back to McLarta.
Yeah, I think that's Owen Sanjay on the Astra Honda who's moved into the front there.
Well, I think Owen Sanjay needs to do something, doesn't he? Because he had 2nd year in the team, supposedly meant to be the lead rider, but he always seems to be overshadowed lately. Yeah,
he has been. So he had a good race here last year. He couldn't touch the race winner. This was an Astra Honda story last year at Suzuka in the AP250, but different today.
Well, to be fair, I mean, Super Mario last year on the Astra Honda was a phenomenal rider, so he was doing a good job. You know, but the Astra Honda team last year had some pretty spectacular riders.
Yeah, but they move them on, and the new guys come through, and the new guys that have come in this year are doing really well, as we can see in this front group.
From memory last year, I mean, Reza Danica in the Astra Honda team was very difficult to beat, won quite a few races.
Yeah, he was totally in a class of his own last year.
Yeah, he demolished the championship, so definitely a contender of a bike, the Astra Racing Honda.
No question about that. Just talking about comparisons, suspension is a pretty important component. The Astra Hondas run Showa, and the AP Honda, the Thai machines, run Öhlins as from the start of this year.
Well, not too much wrong with the Showa suspension at the moment, because it is leading the Öhlins, but I think in the end it's going to come down to the setup and the riders, isn't it? I'll have whatever Andy Fadley's got.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's on Showa.
As they head down that back straight, not much of a straight though. As you can see, the riders just having a look over their shoulder there. That was the number 88. That's Nazrul Azat. Having a look just to see who's coming, and there's plenty. But this is for the podium, so this is going to get pretty serious. Ray Ratakuri up the inside.
Yeah, that was a really nice clean line out of the last bend by Irfan. It gave him a couple of bike lengths as he came out, but now they're on to the long downhill home straight.
But look at this. I mean, really, Andy Mohammed Fadley, that 500 RPM limiter that he's got is certainly, you know, it's working. But as I said, this track, you don't need that. You know, you don't need that extra horsepower. You're always on the side of the tyre. So if you've got to bite the handles.
Yeah, and they can do quite a lot with the mapping, I think.
Well, absolutely. I mean, obviously, you know, he's learned to ride that. 3 riders in the class with that rule applied now. It's McLarta, Andy Fadley, Andy Fadley and also Ikiyoshi, who still isn't making his way forward. So perhaps he hurt himself in that crash as well.
Possibly, yeah. I've been looking for that number 37, but haven't seen it on the screen at all since the start of the race, and we're halfway now.
Yeah, so he's going to be struggling just to get points at this point, but I think, you know, perhaps there is something wrong with the Japanese rider, unfortunately.
Yeah, looking further down, we've got Rafid Topan. He's sort of stabilised around 7th, 8th position. Nazarul, who's making a really good debut here at Suzuka, he's 9th. And the best of the wild cards here is Nobuteru Sasaki, who's currently in 10th position in front of Piawat Patumyos.
That's really good, but that's really good because this is a hard class to perform well in, because this is probably the most modified of the classes that we have. So you've got to actually have a really well-prepared bike to do a good job here. So I take my hat off to the Japanese riders that have wildcarded here. Look at McLeod, she's getting cut up left, right and centre. She really is coming under a lot of pressure. She's normally the one that puts the pressure on.
Yeah, well, it's half distance. She'll be giving it back at some stage if she can.
Rafid Topan, he will not be happy with himself back in the pack there. Pole position, at least he needs a podium.
Yeah, he does, but not to be. But I think we'd all like to see another player up there at the front regularly, and we know the quality of Rafid Topan's Egypto.
Ray Ratakori takes another one into the hairpin. He's good on that line, and it just still amazes me how they get through there. Halfway through the race distance now.
Yeah, good on the brakes.
McLeod.
Who's she got behind her now? That's Ray Ratakori.
Yep, she's tucked in. Ray Ratakori's not going to have it so easy next time around as he strives to get into a podium position, is he? Is he going to wait, or is he going to dive up the inside into turn 1? This is where McLeod had her big crash last year. Looks a little bit ginger through there this time around.
You reckon? Yeah.
Well, maybe not. She looked pretty fast.
Yeah, she clipped somehow. She clipped her teammate. It was a disaster for the team.
Yeah, it certainly was, but I would say she's come back stronger this year. She's definitely one of the fastest riders in the field. Definitely got the capability to win this championship.
Yeah, last year she was quick and feisty, but this year there's something else about her. She's got a greater depth of confidence, I'd say. And she really does look and talk like a champion. She
hasn't actually made a mistake this year. She's got 2 DNS, but as you mentioned before this race started, they weren't her fault.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So it's interesting. Having watched her for a fair few years now, I see that she really has stepped up this year as a proper championship contender. And this really is over the distance of 7 rounds and 14 races. I think it is Fadley and McLeod that will be there at the end.
Well, Ray Ratakuri there is certainly putting the pressure on, looking for a way past. We know how good he is into that final corner, and that is the corner to be good at here at Suzuka, because that will define whether you get that podium or not.
Yeah, his bike looks quick, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but he's also good bike placement. He's very confident in the braking area as well, so you just keep an eye on him. He's smart enough to know that he's probably not going to be able to do too much down this straight, but importantly into that braking zone. Wow, look at that.
Oh, who's this on the screen now? I've forgotten about him.
Andy Fadley. What a lead. 4.2 seconds for him. His fastest lap time, a 2:28.8. He is just cruising around now. 2:30.5 last time around for him. Still quicker than everybody else out there.
Yeah, I noticed on the run there down the straight, Ray Ratakuri got shuffled back a little bit. He's come back through, but not close enough to threaten Muqtada into the chicane this time around.
She is very, very good on the brakes. She's very, very light. She's got less weight to stop than a lot of the guys out there, and that certainly makes a difference in that braking area, especially when you've got someone with such good perception as McLeod there on the number 44 machine.
Yeah. That's Owen coming up the inside of her there into turn 1. And Irfan on the outside, so she's back into that Astra Honda sandwich. She won't want to stay there for too long.
No, and she goes up the inside. Great move there. Awan Sanjaya just at the back of that pack. Ray Ratakuri's been knocked back as well. And Awan Sanjaya's there. Irfan Ardansaya started from the front row of the grid. back in 5th position at the moment.
Yeah, Ray Ratakuri, he's, I was going to say he was in 3rd place because we've almost forgotten about the guy out of the front, but he's 4th.
Well, yeah, he won't want to finish in 4th, will he?
No, he won't.
So keep an eye on Ray Ratakuri. We know he's good on the brakes, but so is Awan Sanjaya. Tried to make a dive up the inside, couldn't do it there.
Under the bridge, this group go.
Is McLarder fast enough to break this group up? I'm not so sure she is. Ray Ratakuri tries to go around the outside. Can't do it there.
Difficult to get away when you have got the opportunities to slipstream later in the lap, isn't it?
Absolutely. You do all the hard work. Earthan, hard move on Sanjaya up the inside there, but McLarder nice and smooth through the chicane.
Yeah, you can see what her game plan is. It's going to be a difficult one to pull off.
Well, she's strong into that final chicane, so she's going to try and stay in front, but she knows that breaking into the chicane on the last lap, which is only a couple of laps away, she's going to have to give it absolutely everything. If anybody can do it and get through in one piece, it's her.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Steve, about Ray Ratakuri. He won't want to finish 4th, and we know he's good into that final chicane too.
Yeah, well, neither will Sanjaya either. Another rider that needs to get a good result here. He won't want any of his teammates to be in front of him.
Yeah.
But is that Earthan who's moved himself up now? One of the riders goes wide there. Well, McLarder's lost quite a few spots on that back straight.
Yeah, she has. And that was the penultimate time through that chicane.
That could have been Ferozi on the Yamaha who ran wide. Ferozi doing a great job out there from Indonesia.
So you've got the 3 Astras there together.
Well, it looks like Andy Fadley's got this one tied up, but the final lap here at Suzuka proves to be a cracker for the final spots on the podium. And it is Irfan Ardinsaya who takes that 2nd position at the moment. Still a long way to go as everyone's discussing it.
The AP Honda team there.
But it is the number 16 of Irfan Ardinsaya who is in that 2nd position. Normally we're talking like this for the winner, but the winner is long gone. Kawasaki, Andy Mohamed Fadley, has only got himself to beat. But that's Ray Ratakuri who's moved his way forward.
Yeah, and behind him is Owen. Or is that Lucky?
Well, Ray Ratakuri, what a ride he had. We almost wrote him off a little while ago, but he's got himself up into that 3rd position now, and he has put the hammer down. Meanwhile, Awan Sanjaya has made a dive up the inside. Brave move and puts himself up in the 3rd position now. Only his teammate in front of him, and Andy Fadley, who's way up the road. What do you think? Do you reckon Awan Sanjaya is going to have a go?
Yeah, I think he will. I think Ray Ratakuri is going to attack him. For P3, my money's on Ray Ratakuri.
Ray Ratakuri there, just sitting in that 4th position. Nobody wants to finish there. We haven't even mentioned McLarder once. And surely she's going to strike. Yeah,
she will. Let's see if she can catch up on this downhill section.
And what about poor old Rafford Topan Shupato, the man who had pole position? He's way off the podium positions back there at the moment. He's so close, but it's unlikely unless he gets an awesome drive onto the start, onto this back straight.
Yeah, not a bad debut on a Honda. We've known him as a Yamaha rider since well, since as long as I can remember.
Everybody taking that line, using the slipstream up the left-hand side of the track. They've all switched to the right. It is the 198 machine. Awan Sanjaya tips it in. You can see how hard. He didn't back off there at all. Irfan's going up the outside there. McLarder's going to be in there somewhere for sure. Ray Ratakuri, we know how tight he can go. Oh, they're all hard on the brakes. Ratakuri gets through. He can't do it. Sanjaya gets through. Number 108, though. Look at Andy Fadley. He can almost take his hands off the handlebar now. And he comes across and takes an emphatic victory for Kawasaki here in Suzuka, Japan. And that looks like it's Irfan who gets 2nd, and Ray Ratakuri celebrating like he gets 3rd, and he does. What a brilliant result for him. Awan Sanjaya just misses out on the podium, as does McLarder. Unfortunately, McLarder in 5th. Thought she might have been a bit stronger than that. Lucky Hendren Sire gets that 6th position, but it could have gone any way, Barry.
Yeah, it could. But the Astra Hondas really gave it their best this time. And we got three of them in the top 6. They needed this kind of result. They'd like to win. But Irfan said on the grid something that was interesting. He just referred to the Kawasaki as being a step up, so untouchable. So he'd already beaten himself in a way. So he will see this perhaps as a victory.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I still remember when the Kawasaki made its debut. There was question marks. Is it good enough? Well, I think they've been answered. The Kawasaki is definitely a race-winning machine. It's a championship-winning machine. And when you put a guy like that, Andy Mohamed Fadli, on the new Ninja 250 with the equaliser added, minus 500 RPM. A reminder that 3 bikes only out there with that equaliser, and Andy Fadli is one, Akiyoshi another, and also McLarder. You've got to think that that's an emphatic result for him.
Yeah, definitely. That was a tiebreaker. That's put him clear of Muqtada. I haven't done the mental arithmetic yet, but they were both on, I think, 88 points. Absolutely. No, there's definitely, he has jumped forward quite a few points now. Of course, Irfan, brilliant second position for him. And, you know, that backs up another good result that he got last time out in Thailand. So he's really coming of age now. Yeah, I think so. Of those 3 riders, he's the one that looks just a shade better than the others. McLarder, wrist off the bars. What do you make of that? She looks physically like she's struggling a little bit there. Yeah. Definitely doesn't look like she's celebrating, jumping around full of energy. Almost looks like she's carrying some sort of injury there. Yeah, she wouldn't be celebrating 5th place. I remember the last time she finished 3rd, she looked like she'd lost $1 million. Well, yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it? She normally does a DNF or wins, so unfortunately McLarder doesn't finish on the podium. But Andy Mohamed Fadli takes this one out for Manual Tech KYT Kawasaki Racing, wins by a mile on the Ninja 250. Irfan in 2nd, Renato Ratakuri in 3rd position. Owen Sanjaya takes 4th. McLarder in 5th. 6th is Lucky Henrysaya. 7th is Rafid Topan Superto with his new number. And Piwat Patumas, who we didn't talk about too much, but the other AP Honda rider in 8th position. A good result for Piwat to get that position. In 9th, of course, is Ferozi. In 10th, the Japanese wildcard, Sasaki. Good result for him. Nazrul Izzat in 11th. 12th was Muzakir Mohammed. And 13th, Izam Ikmal. Tachiko and Busarai didn't do too much back down there in 15th position. 17th was another wild card, Kasai. Tanemoto in 18th. Sawapol Nilapong in 19th. Shunya Mori in 20th. Kazuki Tomita in 21st. Cheryl Yutzi in 22nd. Mu Nakahara in 23rd. Lu Jimai in 24th, 58 seconds on the Bike Corner Systems KYT Racing Team machine in 24th position. There's more. 25th was another wild card, Keiji Goto. 26th, the number 99, Hazik Zamri. 27th, Stuart Johnson.